And what's going on, everybody? And we are logging on to episode 121 of the podcast. We got a very interesting episode for you guys today. First off, I am joined by my co-host Luke. Thank you for being here, my man.
Of course. I have a sty from how much I've been stressing over this podcast. So my eye is just crumbling, literally and figuratively. So that's how much I stress for you people.
And then we have someone joining the podcast for a second time.
Da-na-na.
Zach Allen. Thank you for being here, my man.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to get into this.
Hello, boyo.
Hello, boyo.
How you doing? Good luck.
You as well.
So, this was all Luke's idea, this topic, so I'm literally just gonna throw it off to you right now,
Cool.
man. Why don't you explain the rules and the concept and everything?
All right, great. So, as a huge NFL draft nerd, I love the NFL. I love the NFL draft. I think it's such a cool concept as to like how they go about like prospecting these kids and kind of evaluating them and so on and so forth. Similar to other podcasts that we've done, where we've done an MLB draft with superheroes and a football draft with Game of Thrones characters. The NFL draft, when this gets released, will be less than a week away on Thursday the 28th, if I'm not mistaken. So what we're going to do is we're going to have as many Marvel characters as I've contracted and came up with. They're going to have a positional value that we came up with. And then basically we're going to draft according to the NFL's actual draft order this year. So anyone that doesn't know the NFL draft, each team's position as to where they fall at the end of the year determines where they draft. So the Panthers were not the worst team, but they traded up with the Bears, who were the worst team. So the Panthers now have the first overall pick. They are going first on the board. So we're going to pretend like these Marvel characters are the positional needs for the actual team as to where we would draft them. So some of it might not make sense, but that's all right. So
that's just the fun of it.
Exactly, that's the fun of it. So yes, obviously, when you have Kang the Conqueror on a football field, he's probably going to dominate most people. Just use your imagination that we're kind of pretending like everyone has superpowers on the team already, and we're just kind of drafting people that we want. So that's the best way I'd describe it. But
love it. Okay. I will be the announcer here, announcing who goes first as far as team-wise, getting the first, second, third pick, and so forth. It is Luke against Zach here, picking off the names of all these Marvel superheroes. So I say we get started right away.
let's get right off to it. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Yes. All right.
I'll have to send you the link to what the draft sound is.
Without a doubt.
They play a song leading up to when the pick is in. So when you hand the pick in and it's been like the pick has been selected.
Yes.
Before the announcement gets made, they play da-na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na. So yeah. Why am I getting called by potential spam? That's probably an owner.
That was me.
It's probably an owner. Hello? Yeah, what pick are you looking for? You're looking for the first overall pick. All right, I want a first next year. A first, nope, they hung up on me. All right, great. All right, so, so let's do it.
All right. So, with the first overall pick, we have the Carolina Panthers. The pick was acquired from the Chicago Bears. The Bears' record, 3-14, .571 strength of schedule, and the Panthers' biggest needs is a quarterback, a defensive end, and what's the other one?
Wide receiver.
A wide receiver.
Yep.
Okay, so Luke, you are on the board to pick first. Oh, you
right,
got it already.
Already there.
Okay, all right.
He's ready to go. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm announcing right away.
Yep, you can do it.
All right.
Oh, I know who you picked.
The Panthers choose for quarterback, Captain America. Dun,
Yep.
dun.
So yeah, they picked quarterback because the Panthers are in desperate need of a quarterback. They need the guy that can kind of bring them to what I like to consider the promised land. Captain America is your prototypical just like team leader, team guy. He's in charge of the field. He's a field general. Guy's an absolute athlete. So it was a no-brainer for me to pick him at first overall. So Captain America 1-1 off the board at quarterback position. So
very good. I would say we're off to a strong start right now. We are now going to the second overall pick for the Houston Texans. Now, their record is 3-13-1. Their biggest needs, quarterback, wide receiver, and a defensive end. Zach, you are on the board to pick.
Yep, I feel good about this pick. I feel good about this pick.
All right.
Log kind of stole my my QB needs here, but we're just gonna go with it. Let's see.
Okay. All right. For the second overall pick, the Houston Texans choose Spider-Man for... What did you choose it for?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Yep. Okay,
cool.
There you go. Boom.
So Spidey's just going to be out there. He's going to catch every single ball that's coming his way. Even balls that aren't coming his way. He's going to get them.
Boom. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. There's not going to be a ball dropping.
Even if he doesn't even see the ball coming to him, those spidey senses, he could be running and just be looking this way and catch it like that. Boom,
and
I like that
catch
pick.
Him? Who's tackling this guy?
Oh,
Nobody.
Nobody.
I don't know.
No, it's a good. That's a
He's
good.
getting
pick.
to the end zone.
That's a good pick.
We feel good about Spidey.
All right. For the third overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals. They are 4-13. Their biggest needs. We got DL is what?
Defensive line.
Defensive
defensive tackle,
okay.
defensive lineman, cornerback, and offensive lineman.
Yes, correct. Luke? All right. Okay. And this is for offensive line.
Offensive tackle, offensive line.
Offensive
Yep,
tackle,
that works.
offensive line. For the Arizona Cardinals, third overall pick, Thanos.
I mean, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. He's he's sitting there with another offensive tackle on the board that was considered a higher prospect than him, but I just think he's a mean, gritty player, man. That guy wants to just get down and dirty with the dirtiest of them, and just Philly accent coming out, wanting to just party with the best of them.
I did a lot of scouting on this player, and I wasn't sure. Does he have the stones at this point?
I was going to say, are those rule-regulated Infinity
So,
Stones?
well,
What are the refs doing
the
about
stones
this?
are fine. We'll figure that out as the time
just
goes. Yeah, because, listen, I liked the number 1 overall offensive tackle on our board, but he's got a lot of on and off the field situations where he's got a lot of, he's sometimes is one person, the next time he's another person.
You don't know who you're getting.
You don't know who you're getting when it comes time to game time.
I see.
That's no good for me. I can't take that on my team, where Thanos is just a nasty bastard the whole time.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That man is going to just go and just fight with the best of them.
He's taken out at least half the opposing team.
At least half the field.
Least
Yep,
half the
exactly.
opposing
Without
team.
a doubt. Yeah. Even without all the Infinity Stones. So, there you go. All right. Now, we are at the 4th overall pick, which goes to the Indianapolis Colts. They are 4-12-1. Their biggest needs are quarterback, cornerback, and offensive line. Zach on the board, and he chose Hawkeye for quarterback. I believe that's a very smart choice. Very well done on that choice there. He's got the sharpshooting eye.
He's gonna be 95 to 96% completion percentage is what I'm hoping for. I mean, you got you got some of these guys out there. It doesn't even matter. The ball's just gonna drop in the bread basket.
Just right in the bread basket. He's one of the most accurate guys in Marvel history. Yeah. So you're talking about a guy that can thread the needle to the likes of the Night King. Yeah. Both of them on brand. So in week 13 when they play each other, thinking that Hawkeye's going to start the regular season, if he faces Jon Snow and those guys, on the northern bastards over there, he's definitely going to get it. So
bastards.
Cool.
All right. 5th, Northern Bastards, by the way, would be a perfect Game of Thrones football team in that world.
Northern Bastards.
The Northern Bastards.
All right. Bastards of the North.
For the 5th overall pick, it goes to the Seattle Seahawks. This pick was acquired from the Denver Broncos. The Broncos' record is 5-12, and the Seahawks' biggest needs are defensive line, wide receiver, and the offensive line.
Yep. So the Seahawks actually did make the playoffs this year. They were a fighting team, but they made a trade to acquire Russell Wilson. The Denver Broncos acquired Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And the Broncos ended up being a real bad team. So that's how they ended up getting this 5th overall pick.
Gotcha.
Which, looking at it now, it works great for the Seahawks because they still made a playoff and lost their top guy, but they gained a top pick from it, where a top 5 pick is a huge value for a lot of teams. So
okay.
That's a huge need and huge asset for them.
Good position to be in.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Luke with the Seahawks chooses the Hulk for offensive tackle.
Yep. So Seahawks were not concerned about his on and off the field situations with the back and forth with everything. They were very much not concerned at all. They loved the guy. They wanted the pick. They immediately knew who they were taking. Wasn't an issue for them. They were ready to go, and they were we're really happy as an organization to have him here. Regardless of who he shows up as his game time, we know he's going to want to scrap and he's going to want to be there. And listen, he's one of the smartest guys on the field, regardless. So what you want brains and brawn when it comes to things like that. So that's why we were super excited about that.
I'm glad you explained that because sometimes Hulk himself could be a little temperamental and wanting to come out or not.
And you know what? There's a ton of really great talent on our team that we think is going to really be able to just help push him to be an even better player.
Love it.
That's why we're so excited to have him.
I like that pick.
Very good. All right. The 6th overall pick. This goes to the Detroit Lions. The pick was acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams' record is 5-12, and the Lions' biggest needs is defensive line. DB is
defensive back,
defensive
cornerback,
back,
safety,
and tight end. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. I'm learning here, guys. Zach on the board choosing for the Detroit Lions, and he chooses Iron Man for tight end. I believe that's a good choice. Now, could someone explain to me exactly what tight end is necessarily?
Yep, so tight end is going to be on the offensive snap, and they're going to be catching balls, they're going to be blocking, they're going to be doing the dirty work. They might get into the end zone, if they're lucky here and there. But I mean, at this point, I'm going with the best available given what the team needs. And when I see Iron Man on the board, and he's a really, really solid tight end, and just a lot more than that. Let's be real here. Iron Man is more than just a tight end. Coach might put him on the defensive side. Who even knows? This guy could he could go deep and he could play a couple different positions. Very versatile. But yeah, we're going with Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Good pick.
Good pick indeed.
Good pick.
That nanotechnology
A lot
could
of
do
people
a lot.
think it was an early pick, but I agree. It's a great positional value. He's got another one of those guys that's a huge completion percentage. And another thing is, man, that guy gets hit and doesn't go down, which is huge Detroit Lions that in the past have had such a bad team around them, that they have such a young and talented team where this guy is going to go in there. He's going to get hit by some of these guys in the secondary, hit off 3, 4, 5, 6 guys before he even gets tackled.
They're just going to bounce off.
It's just
going to. And this guy is not losing the ball.
No,
I mean, talk about his grip strength. Talk about just that suit that he's got.
He went to Oregon, so we know he had all the suits just like the Oregon players do, exactly. So I mean, him in the green uniforms is going to be great. He's going to blue and silver. It's going to be awesome for him. So.
Very nice. All right. Now, for the 7th overall pick, it goes to the Las Vegas Raiders. 6-11, their biggest needs, cornerback, offensive line, and defensive line. Luke, you are on the board for the choice, for the pick.
There you go.
And let's see what we got. For the Las Vegas Raiders, for offensive tackle, Red Hulk. Oof, all right.
Yep, so, a lot of these offensive linemen go off the board early. A lot of these guys, a lot of these teams are in positions where they need a lot of players. They need a lot of things to go on, so it's not just one thing that is going to make their team immediately turn around. But the big thing with them is they want that positional player that's going to be there and solidified for a couple of years. So Red Hulk is going to be an offensive lineman. He can really start at any position because he's got that size, he's got that speed, he's got that power to him as one of those offensive linemen wants. And for a guy like that, it's just an awesome way for us to see, how he's going to grow the rest of his team and how he's going to kind of corral them all together.
I got to ask you, though, are you a bit worried, though, with his... I mean, the Hulk himself is temperamental, but Red Hulk, we're talking even worse.
But you know what? If there's any place he can play like that, it's the Raiders. It's the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
The Raiders are one of the meanest organizations in history. So we're talking about an organization that's just gritty and mean, getting a player that's gritty and mean. So we're real excited for it.
All right. Now, 8th overall pick. The Atlanta Falcons, 7-10, their biggest needs. Defensive end, defensive end, cornerback, and wide receiver. Zach, who you got on the board here?
Pick in here.
For the Atlanta Falcons, defensive end, Wolverine.
Damn, bro, that's
This guy's just going to be
phenomenal
cutting through
pick.
offensive lines.
Phenomenal pick.
He's not going
The
down.
Bears got to throw out their pick. They had it. The Bears are not happy. The Bears were trying their best to trade up with them in that position and get that player.
No,
but
I mean, we really wanted this guy. We've been doing a lot of scouting on this guy, and I mean, he's tough as steel. I mean, probably tougher than steel.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Some say
Just
he's
as tough
built with
as
it.
adamantium.
Adamantium,
Yeah,
perhaps?
perhaps. Now, here's my question for you. Are you a bit worried that there might be a deflategate going on with those pointy, sharp claws of his to maybe, poke some holes into the ball a little bit?
It's something that's definitely on our radar,
Yeah.
and we're going to be strategic about it. Yeah, I mean, this risk comes with the type of player with an incredible talent. Like
And the
this.
speeds
Sometimes
of-
you're just gonna pop a ball or two.
And the speeds of the NFL are different. So the NFL to college is a different game. So, the couple of things he's done in college like that, he's going to learn how to play and adapt and change his game to the mindset that these players have when they get to the NFL.
Yeah.
So
Love to hear it. I love the thought process on it. Just give him a couple of cigars and he'll be
He'll be
on
all right.
your side.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. Yeah.
100%.
All right, pick number 9, the Chicago Bears. The pick acquired from the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers' record was 7-10. The Bears' biggest needs: defensive line, offensive line, and cornerback. Luke, who you got on the board here? Ooh. All right. For which position here?
defensive end.
Defensive end, we have Ultron.
So,
That's nice.
The position that this team is in, the Bears are in a spot where they need everything. The Bears need players at every position. So with the big thing with them was they said, we want to go out and get one of the best talents on the board. Ultron is one of the fastest, strongest, and smartest players there.
Oh, yeah.
And for them, it's about building in multiple positions. So Ultron was a guy they wanted to do. Obviously, there's some health concerns there. Again, a lot of teams will get worried about that. This is one of those drafts that there's a couple of these top guys, and then after that, it kind of falls off. But the organization is willing and ready to have him in, and we're excited to have him as part of our team.
Love to hear it. Giving the guy a chance. Love it. All right, pick number 10. The Philadelphia Eagles. Pick acquired from the New Orleans Saints.
You're lucky I wasn't picking for him. I would have picked the worst player on the board.
See, this one is very important to me, so I'm gonna have to, take a little second here to analyze the board that we have.
Okay.
All right.
The Saints' record was 7-10, and the Eagles' biggest needs are safety, defensive line, and running back. All right, Zach, take your time if you need.
No, I think we got it.
Oh, all right.
I think we got it. I feel good about this pick. I would love to see this player in the Kelly Green.
Say.
I'm getting the Giants pick if it gets to that point, just for that.
Allow it.
For the 10th overall pick going to the Philadelphia Eagles, we have which position here?
Safety.
Safety, Scarlet Witch. Now, the Scarlet Witch, we have been choosing some pretty temperamental but powerful players here on these teams and whatnot. I think there's always a risk with these people, but all you need is her kids in the stands, and she's going to rock and roll, I'll tell you that.
And I'll tell you one thing, there's no safer place to be than in the stands of the Link. As long as you're wearing the right color.
That's the furthest thing from the truth, but okay, we'll pretend like that's
I think this explosive talent is really going to be the thing that drives and catapults the Birds up into that championship tier. And hey, we came really close, and I think if we had Scarlet Witch in the backfield, that game may have gone a little bit differently. So we'll see.
All right, well, you got Scarlet Witch now for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, and we are now on the 11th overall pick going to the Tennessee Titans. 7-10, biggest needs, offensive line, wide receiver, and
defensive back.
Defensive back.
Defensive back.
Gotcha. Luke chooses for the Titans, Korg for offensive line.
So yeah, this, as you guys can tell, I'm just solidifying all these teams that need offensive line help. We're going best player available with this line draft at offensive tackle is pretty solid. A lot of really good, a lot of really big, a lot of really strong dudes. So we're talking about just guys that want to just get out there and play. So, as you run into this, once it gets a little bit later, you run out of some guys that you want to pick at those spots. So definitely getting those off the board and getting them out of the way ASAP. But happy to have Korg on the team and on the organization.
Just make sure he stays well, make sure he stays healthy and everything like that, because in MCU canon, we have seen him break apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're not going to look at those, Frank. We're gonna just move forward with him being a good player and hoping his health concerns stay that way. The Texans are next on the board. Their needs are quarterback, wide receiver, and edge. They just don't have it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It was just cut off. So
Very good.
still in the position. Obviously, the Texans already took a wide receiver. A lot of people thought they were going to take a quarterback at their first pick, at the second overall pick. So really crazy to see they went out of the box and went wide receiver. You know, you don't pick wide receiver 2 unless you think it's a generational talent.
Yeah,
so
which it is.
a lot of people are excited to see him play, and him going to be in that Texas heat's going to be fun to watch. Spidey from New York City all the way down to Texas.
Here's the thing. I went 2 on the Texans with the wide receiver. With this guy, I could be throwing the ball, right? So I'd rather have, instead of me throwing the ball, let's have this guy throwing the ball.
All right. Ooh, for quarterback, we got Dr. Strange. For the Texans, I actually love this choice. Dr. Strange could throw the ball, see it could be potentially intercepted, do a little woo-woo-woo, and then just land it to the next player.
Exactly. And when you've got this dynamic duo where I mean the catch radius of Spider-Man is out of control, and you might be thrown over here. And then you'd be like, oh, wait, Spider-Man's open all the way over there. Shoosh, pop it on over there. Could be 20 yards away. Spidey's going to grab that and hold it in for a touchdown. I mean, I think the Texans are really getting a lot of strength here. So
Okay, love it. For the 13th overall pick, we have the New York Jets, who are 7-10, and their biggest needs were offensive line, defensive tackle, and safety. All right, Luke, you're on the board to choose their next player. And we have... for the New York Jets as safety, Black Widow. All right, now we have a superhero here, a very powerful superhero, but doesn't necessarily have power. So please explain your choice here.
Yeah, I think the Jets are another team. They're in a young spot. They've got a lot of really great talent on their team. They want another person that's going to command that defense. They want someone that's going to be out there and is going to not allow the non-powers to be the reason that she's held back. Again, phenomenal player on the field. I mean, she's one of the OGs of the spot. She stayed 4 years, which is great. She did her whole 4 years of college. She didn't take an early opt-out. She had a 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, whatever the hell it is in college anymore. But, she just was built different in all of the curriculum base. And then on the field, just, the amount of speed, power. She gets the ball. She commands the defense. She picks her teammates up when things go on. So, we're just excited to have her in all facets of the team.
Love it. I would say other teams would have to be careful with Black Widow, as she could be very spy-esque.
Yep.
And maybe steal
That's
some
why
plays
she's
from other
perfect
teams.
for that safety spot, man.
You're not going to see her, and then she's going to come out and take that ball.
She's played wide receiver before. She's played cornerback. She's played other spots. But that safety, when you play that spy for her, she's going to command that whole backfield. And then just as it comes time, boom, out of nowhere.
In college, I think she took snaps at like 7-8 different positions.
Yeah, every position.
I mean, but now we're in the league. We're focused.
She's focused on that safety spot. Her pro day was at a safety spot. Everything there. So she's excited for it.
That's good stuff.
For the 14th overall pick, we have the New England Patriots, who went 8-9, and their biggest needs is defensive back,
yep.
defensive back, offensive tackle, and wide receiver. Zach, who do we have on the board for the New England Patriots? For defensive back, Zeus.
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Zeus. Now, I didn't realize Zeus was a player in this game until late on in the career. Let's say, per se, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. He was a little bit of a late bloomer, and he got onto the field late. But he's got the size, he's got the power. He definitely can pack a punch, if you know what I mean, with a thunderbolt.
So. And hey, I mean, he dropped down on a lot of draft boards, but the front office of the Patriots, they know what to look for. They know what they want. I feel like this guy's gonna be fitting in the organization, and I think it's just a good pick for him. He's gonna bring the thunder. He's gonna bring the lightning, and We'll see. I hate the Patriots, though.
For the 15th overall pick, we got the Green Bay Packers, who went 8-9. Their biggest needs are safety, tight end, and wide receiver. Luke, who you putting on the board for that? All right, Green Bay Packers, tight end. Thor. We got Thor as the tight end. All right.
A lot of people thought Thor was going to go earlier. He's an amazing talent. Tight end position is tough because you don't want to take a tight end too early in the draft. It's a positional player that you're a little bit more concerned about because they don't get as many wide receiver snaps. They don't get as much as a running back. They don't get those balls as frequently as a lot of other teams do it, but the Packers are very, very set on getting him the ball, getting that tight end position rolling, and continuing to grow that spot there. So Thor was just a no-brainer, and he fits great in Green Bay, since he played at Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin. So
now I don't know if the Patriots are playing the Packers anytime soon. Probably not. They're not, in the conference, but that matchup might be pretty electric.
You're gonna see. Odin probably, or Zeus probably even try to get off the line at defensive tackle and try to drop back a little bit to get a little bit of a hit into that type of player. So it's going to be interesting to see that.
Definitely going to be fun.
For pick number 16, we have the Washington Commanders, who went 8-1. Their biggest needs, cornerback, offensive line, and tight end. Zach, you are on the board to choose their
Don't
next
pick the worst player just because it's Washington. Don't do that. No,
sorry, we're not going to do it.
Don't do it. We can only do that for the Cowboys. That's the only spot we're going to do is for the Cowboys. Yes,
so sabotage.
It's the enemy of my enemy is my friend in this case. So
yes. All right. I feel fine with this. I mean, no. You know what? No. This is outrageous. We're going to go with this one instead. Okay.
All right. For the Washington Commanders, they get for cornerback Miss Marvel. Now, why choose Miss Marvel for cornerback, Zach?
Let's be real. The Commanders need just about everything, right?
Okay.
I mean, this is not an extensive list, Luke, of what they need.
No, they need a lot. Yeah, You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'll just go ahead and say we're looking at the cornerbacks. It's kind of a light draft year for corners, but I think this player in particular is a standout at the position. And it's just gonna put the work in. They're just gonna put the work in. They're gonna do the dirty work, and hopefully get some dubs out of it.
Absolutely, sounds good to me. For pick number 17 goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their biggest needs: offensive line, cornerback, and defensive line. Luke's on the board for the Steelers, choosing cornerback as Ant-Man.
Yep, Steelers ran to the podium as soon as they saw that that the Commanders skipped out on Ant-Man. Ant-Man was projected cornerback 1 in this. A lot of people are back and forth with if they liked the positional status for him being the cornerback. He's a little bit undersized at times, but he plays bigger than he is. When Miss Marvel went, who has been a solidified starter since she got to the University of Washington. I don't know. I'm trying to think of outer space. So she was at the University of Washington. Ant-Man only got on the field sophomore year, junior year, but since he's gotten there, again, he's smaller than he should be at that position, but he's shown that he can play with the tallest and the shortest and the fastest and the strongest of them.
Without a doubt.
The organization, the Steelers, we ran to the podium excited to take him.
Love it. For the 18th overall pick, it goes to the Detroit Lions. Their biggest needs: defensive line, defensive back, right? Defensive back, and tight end. I always get that one stuck.
If you see DB, you can basically just call it a safety if you really if you want. It's DB. Defensive back is more like cornerback, safety. It's a little bit of all of that.
All right. Zach was the one to choose this one for the Detroit Lions for defensive tackle, War Machine. War Machine, I believe, is a very good choice for this position with his armor, he still has some speed with him, even being a bulky guy, Yeah, absolutely.
And he's right up there with the likes of, Iron Man and some of these other big guys, and just to have have that impact on the defensive end, I think is something that
and two guys that went to the same school. So you're talking college roommates, you're talking high school roommates. These guys have been together since the beginning. So phenomenal pick to keep them together. Different sides of the ball, but it'll be really good to have an offense and a defensive player be able to kind of coordinate their teams accordingly and really make sure.
A couple years down the line, they might be leading this team to captains and into the playoffs and even further down the line. So we'll see. It's going to be hard. You're not going to want to face them on either end of the ball at this point. So.
I love that. I didn't realize they were on the same.
Yeah, they've been playing together for a long time.
Yes, that's right. That's right. All right. For the 19th overall pick, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their biggest needs: offensive line, safety, and defensive line. Luke's on the board to choose for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Which position here?
Running back.
Running back is Black Panther.
Yep, so the Bucs obviously are clearing some space in their organization right now. They just got rid of a running back, and, their team is going to go through some big, significant changes. They looked at the board and they liked a couple different players, but they had their hearts set on a guy, Black Panther, phenomenal player, phenomenal athlete. He's ran, his speed is just, light years past everywhere else.
Agility, strength, all
everything that he has and he brings to the table is light years past them. So they're so excited to have him on the team. So love the pick.
Love it. All right. 20th overall pick goes to the Seattle Seahawks. I don't have their biggest needs for them.
They are
like a wide receiver.
The Seahawks are in need of a defensive lineman, a wide receiver, and an offensive lineman. Their first pick was an offensive lineman.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
They can go offensive line again if they want. A lot of teams try to diversify it. They have a couple offensive linemen there they kind of like, but I think there's some things that can be changed and some things that can be upgraded on that team.
Okay.
Absolutely. And here we have the pick.
Thank you. So the 20th overall pick that goes to the Seattle Seahawks for wide receiver, Rocket Raccoon. All right.
I mean, this guy's he's going to be going fast. He's going to be catching a couple balls. I mean, he's a fun player. He's going to bring a lot of life and energy. And
phenomenal slot player. He's
player.
He's undersized, so at wide receiver, a lot of guys, you want to be a little bit bigger on the outside of the spot. When you play that slot position in the middle, you're a little bit tinier. But when I tell you some of the film I've watched,
a lot of these cracks,
he's able to sleep. He just sneaks through the backfield and gets to an open spot. And every time he does, he's picking up a first down and a first down. He's one of the only players I've ever watched that's constantly at the spot for a first down almost every time he catches the ball.
He's always
phenomenal to watch, and it truly is a great pick. At that
I like
spot.
the engine on this kid. I think he's going to bring a lot to the table here. So,
okay, for the 21st overall pick, the Los Angeles Chargers have the board. Their biggest needs: wide receiver, defensive line, and tight end. Thank you, Luke. You're good. For the Chargers, wide receiver, Yelena Belova. Black Widow's sister.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, again, this was another one of those that was a no-brainer for us. We wanted, we want a wide receiver. We have some wide receivers in the positions that can be those guys, but we wanted some young talent in there. We wanted someone that's going to come in, not take any bullshit from the older guys, and still go out on the field and play every single down. Hard, tough, no breaks, constantly just driving and trying to push themselves. So that's the direction that we went with it.
Okay, sounds good. For the 22nd pick, the Baltimore Ravens, their biggest needs are the wide receiver, cornerback, and quarterback. Zach, who you got for the Baltimore Ravens?
I think we're in this might be a little bit outlandish, but we're going to go.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. So, 22nd overall pick for the Ravens, a wide receiver, it's the Wasp.
Okay.
The Wasp dropped down on a lot of draft boards, but I think there's something that is going on right with the Wasp, and I think it's going to fit into that Baltimore style offense, very high power offense.
Yep.
Very quick. They like to sting you, and get to they like to hit you with those little so we're gonna go with the 1.
That's a good pick. We like that a lot. A lot of people were seeing her draft down on the draft boards, but this is a pretty good all around the board. There's a lot of talent here, and we're seeing some of our top people that we had at our top 10 spots still sitting on the board at 23. So, this is just kind of how the draft works. Sometimes you see these people going, sometimes they end up staying for a little bit. And, you have to make that question and wonder, is it on the field? Is it off the field? Why these teams don't like some of these players and how they're coming out. So, it's very exciting to see. But we are on to 23.
Yep, pick 23 goes to the Minnesota Vikings. Biggest needs are cornerback, defensive line, and wide receiver. Luke for the Vikings chooses. I was waiting for this name to come out. Linebacker, correct?
Yes, correct.
Linebacker goes to Kang the Conqueror himself. Would you like to explain a little bit on that pick?
Yeah, Kang is one of the, I want to say, lower rated. Wait, where is he on my board? There we go. So Kang is one of the lower. I think he's rated at linebacker 4 in this draft. A lot of people didn't like him because, again, he's another one of those guys that has some off-the-field issues.
Very much so.
Pause.
Very much so.
But no, we loved the talent that he brings to the field. We love the talent that he brings to the organization. We see the potential in him, and we definitely think that these things can be fixed. And once everything gets cleared up, he can definitely be the guy for our team and for our organization to push us in the right direction at that linebacker spot. So we're very excited to have him.
Well said. Well said. For the 24th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, their biggest needs, cornerback, offensive tackle, and defensive end. Let's see what we got on the board here. Zach chooses the Jaguars in the 24th pick, cornerback, Mantis. Ooh, interesting choice here. Now, I feel like Mantis is a little bit of a sleeper. Not gonna lie.
Very much a little bit of a
Very
sleeper.
much, right?
Yeah, I had them pretty high on the draft board. I think they're really good for the position, and the film shows that. I mean, the tape. I mean, who can really go against Mantis and the prowess here? So I like the pick. We're getting down to this point where I mean, all these players are phenomenal, right?
Yep.
With the exception of a couple here.
No,
but anyone you're getting here is just a steal.
Mantis, a lot of people have Mantis at cornerback 2, but the second best on the board because of the talent. But a lot of people that have been talking about it going into the draft were concerned about just not seeing the physicality there and just being worried that it's more of a mental game that she likes to play and a lot more, of a game that she tries to just be all over the place and kind of get in her opponent's head. But it's worked, and her stats have shown it. So, as much as she's not going to be a big body getting on you and getting, in on those tackles, she's going to be everywhere, and you're going to constantly hear her footsteps right behind you, which is going to constantly distract the teams. So
okay,
big next couple of picks coming up here, Log.
Big next couple of picks.
Here we go.
I got mine.
25th overall pick.
Don't pick the
Cowboys.
I'm fine.
For the 25th overall pick for the New York Giants, their biggest needs: wide receiver, offensive line, and cornerback. For linebacker, Deadpool for the New York Giants.
Yeah, for us, the New York Giants, we need a number of positions, and at 25, we were just set on taking one of the better players available. There is another linebacker ahead of this person, or multiple linebackers that were considered ahead of this person. I think in the official rankings there was one specifically, but we said the big thing we wanted was a guy that's going to change the organization with the New York Giants, and we have a really great linebacker right now that we brought in. We have a young team. We have a great team that we want to see grow, but we wanted someone that's going to be a no bullshit, getting under everyone's skin in a good way, but not be a basket case off the field. At the end of the day, his intentions are to make the team better, and we love that tenacity is there for him as a player, so we're very excited to have him.
All right, so the Merc with a mouth has been chosen. We are now on the 26th pick. That goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Their biggest needs: defensive line, offensive line, and tight end. Zach, let's see who you chose for the Dallas Cowboys at the 26th overall pick.
Traded it away.
Linebacker is the Vision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I made this choice as a result of Luke skipping over him. Now these two teams are going to meet up twice a year, and who do you think Vision's going to come after now the most?
The Giants.
The Giants. He's got a fire under his belly, and you know what? He's going to sacrifice everything for this team.
Yeah.
And that's just his MO.
He's a head case, though. He's got stones in his head when he plays.
True. Very true.
But you know what? No, that is the right. Yeah, you're right. That was the right pick, though, for the Cowboys. You know, as a Giants fan, you know, obviously it's unfortunate, but you know, with that position, the Cowboys kind of sell, and they fell in his lap where they were like, you know, we can't not take him, and you know, he's got again. When you go to the University of Texas, it almost feels right for you to go and get, you know, drafted by a team from Texas.
It makes sense.
You know, I get it. I definitely get it. Bills time.
Bills. The Buffalo Bills have the 27th overall pick, with their biggest needs being a wide receiver, a defensive tackle, and a linebacker. Luke, who you got for me?
So the Bills are another team that need a bunch. You know, they're not totally set on the defensive tackle board right now. You know, right? They weren't in love with any of it, but they said that's fine. You know, linebacker and wide receiver were more of a concern for them, but wide receiver they like them, but they don't love them, so they went another direction with it.
And that other direction was a linebacker, which is going to end up being Moon Knight. Interesting choice. I believe we have a man with a whole variety set of skills, to be honest with you, depending on his mood per day, basically.
Yep, and all of those skills we think can be huge to the organization. So that's why we're excited that none of the moods that we see he can go into give us any concern for us to be there. One time we've seen him play where he's the smartest guy in the field, once he's the fastest, once he's the strongest. All of those attributes are things that we want for our organization. So for us to see him coming out there, and he'll be fitting in perfectly in Buffalo, which is just such a weird city, which we love. And, you know, I think he'll be, you know, really meant for the position there. So
very well. For the 28th overall pick, it goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Their biggest needs ends up being an offensive tackle, a tight end, and a running back. Zach, who are you putting on the board for the Cincinnati Bengals? We have running back Killmonger.
This guy's going to run through just about anyone that gets in his way. He's going to die trying. So that's what we're going with him for.
We've seen both the running backs that have went off the board so far, or it's been the two of them. We've seen both of them be in a huge spot of they will do anything to get to the end zone, which is, you know, fantastic play for these organizations, seeing that they're going there.
29th overall pick goes to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints need defensive line, tight end, and offensive line. I guess this was taken from the 49ers.
Yeah.
It says 49ers.
Yes, correct. Yep, I probably deleted it. I was going to say, I'm like, well, no, I was in my head. I'm like, wait. I was trying in my head. I'm like, what record were the Saints this year?
What position will this guy be for?
Safety. Sorry.
Okay. Safety for the Saints goes to the Green Goblin. Oh, you did. I thought you said Green Goblins here. You put the S there.
Green Goblins. No, you know, the Saints are again one of the multiple. I think every team needs a lot in this draft, but the Saints are one of those that definitely need a lot of picks as well. Green Goblin's a vet. He's one of the best safeties that we've seen come out of college in years. Again, he is someone that he's on one side of the field, the ball goes up in the air, and he's immediately intercepting and picking the ball off almost instantaneously. The guy just is a ball hawk. He knows how to get to the ball. And another big thing is he loves sacking the quarterback. A lot of these safeties, a lot of these cornerbacks in this draft, they're not as keen to go and want to tackle or blitz or get to the quarterback as frequently as he does. And he works in a really good blitz package where he can go after the quarterback, get him on a constant basis. So it's exciting to see if the Saints will use him in that way or not.
Menacing dude right there. All right, pick 30 goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And they are in need of a safety, defensive line, and a running back. They grabbed the safety before. All right, so we have the defensive line and running back left. And with that being said, the Eagles are going to take a running back in Captain Marvel. We're talking about one of, I would say, the top tier people here that need to be drafted. Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm a Birds fan, right? Luke knows
Oh,
this.
Birds.
And I love the Birds, and I'm just trying to make this team as formidable as possible. And you put the ball in Captain Marvel's hands, have a good time getting it out.
Right.
Or stopping. So,
Absolutely.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Not happening at all.
For the 31st overall pick, it goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Their biggest needs: wide receiver, offensive tackle, and defensive end.
And this is the last pick of the first round because the Dolphins lost their pick this year, so the Dolphins forfeited a pick. So instead of 32 picks,
Why'd that happen, Log?
they're cheaters. Brady.
Brady.
They were trying to get Brady. If you don't know, Tom Brady was going to be a Dolphin. They were trying to get him and tampering with his contract in the middle of the season. And basically, I think they were offering him like ownership stake in the team if you went there, which is something that's never happened in sports. So it would have been a monumental deal, but when they got caught, lost the pick. So there's 31 in the first round, and then 32 on will be in the second round in comparison to what normally is 32 picks in the first round, and then so on. So
The Dolphins chose a terrible year when we're looking at this draft board to get sanctions.
Yep.
Because
no good. And the Dolphins actually don't end up picking again until, if I'm not mistaken, ever. Nope, 51. So you still have a big run of people that are going to be off the board by that time. So again, a young team, a talented team, but not real good for them in this situation.
What position here?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
Wide receiver.
So for the Kansas City Chiefs in the 31st overall pick, it goes to Gamora as wide receiver.
Yep, Gamora is just a player that she just wants to get out there, be down and dirty with the best of them. Fantastic wide receiver. The Chiefs are at a position that they don't need more help with the wide receiver, but they're almost just like, fuck it, why not?
Take it.
Because they have such a talented team as is. They want to continue to grow that wide receiver room, and Patrick Mahomes loves to throw the ball, so they were just dead set on wanting to make sure that they continue to grow that team.
Okay. We are going to move on to round 2 of our Marvel NFL draft here. I believe we had some pretty incredible picks so far. Very smart picks. And let's just move on to round 2 here. For the 32nd overall pick, it goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who need an offensive line, cornerback, and defensive line. Zach is on the board to choose their next player. And it's going to be a defensive tackle in Odin. Odin. We're talking about one of the strongest of the strongest Asgards as we know it.
Yeah. And, I mean, what better place than Pittsburgh for this
and the other big thing with Odin was, you're talking about a top
tier talent.
Top 15 player projected. And, just the age is a concern for them, being a sixth-year senior. They're concerned. But at the end of the day, he's one of the strongest guys on the field. He's one of the smartest. He's literally immortal.
He's immortal,
He's got some of the greatest powers. So the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting there at 32 in the second round thinking they can grab this guy, it was a no-brainer. No-brainer, yeah. Cool.
33rd overall pick goes to the Houston Texans, who need a quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive end.
I literally spelled Odid on my board when I wrote down Odin. Instead, I wrote Odid. O-D-I-D.
Odid.
Big O, big D, I, little d.
Well,
that's how I spelled Odid.
Log.
Yeah, good. I'm all jumbly brained.
We're going to keep in the same playing field here as far as players, as the Texans are going to take Loki as their defensive end.
Yep, so, the Texans are having an absolute field day when it comes to this draft. I mean, you're talking about getting Spider-Man, you're talking about getting Doctor Strange, and you're talking about getting Loki. These are 3 top-tier players.
Yeah.
And when you get a team like this that has as many picks and they need to capitalize as many times as possible in a draft like this is one of those teams. And, Loki being an edge rusher, he's one of the best to play. Again, he's had some off-the-field issues that have come up in the past, but, he's definitely going to be one of those guys that continues to drive and has that motor to get there. So,
without a doubt. For the 34th overall pick goes to the Arizona Cardinals. They are in need of a defensive line, cornerback, and offensive line. All right. Zach choosing for the Cardinals on the 34th overall pick, offensive tackle, Abomination. I believe that's a very smart pick indeed.
You gotta protect your guy. I mean, if Kyler Murray's your guy, you want someone like Abomination out there protecting him. So that's where we're going with.
It's a good pick.
35th overall pick. India. I always have a
Indianapolis
problem
Colts.
saying this. The Colts in need of a quarterback, cornerback, and defensive line. Ooh, we have Man Thing for offensive tackle. Love it.
Yeah, I think the Colts were really dead set on trying to get Abomination in the second round. When he dropped out of that first round as one of those bigger talents of the offensive line draft, they were dead set on it. Yeah. Colts actually tried trading up multiple times with the Steelers, but the Steelers just weren't having it. So, they're very happy to get Man Thing. Again, another one of those players, just an absolute monster on the line.
Absolute monster.
In almost every position.
Can quite obliterate anyone in the playing field.
Yeah, so they're very excited for that. So they can't wait to see what he can bring to the table.
Okay. For the 36th overall pick, the Los Angeles Rams, who need a defensive end, cornerback, and defensive line. Let's see who Zach chooses for one of these positions.
Give the Rams a very solid talent here.
36th overall pick going to the Rams. Zach chooses defensive end, Red Skull. Okay. Interesting choice. You want to explain a little further, if you could?
I just think the intimidation factor and just scare the other teams, daylights out of them, and I think it's a really good scoop here in the second round, leaving them on the board and filling a positional need that the Rams want. And it's really just, LA is so nice, and it's sunny out there. We gotta scare these guys somehow. We got how many home games? So we gotta get some intimidation in here.
Okay. For the 37th overall pick, going to the Seattle Seahawks from Denver, defensive line, wide receiver, and offensive line. Luke chooses for wide receiver.
Sure.
Sure.
Just pretend that's how it's spelled.
Sure.
Where's your one you just picked? What page? I can't find
First page, DE4.
I believe Shuri's a pretty good pick for wide receiver there.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, we're excited for Shuri. Again, you're talking about another such a talented player. We want to continue to beef up our wide receivers in Seattle, and I think doing this is only going to continue to help grow that team and make it young and fast, and that's what we want. So
okay, 38th overall pick goes to the Las Vegas Raiders in need of a cornerback, offensive line, and defensive line. Zach's on the board to choose their next player. Thank you. 38th overall pick for the Raiders. Defensive tackle goes to Drax. Love that one. Love it.
He's a bit of a menace out there, and he's a team player is the thing. He's a real team player, and he's just gonna get the job done. That's what he does. That's what his squad has shown. Back in college, even back in high school, and he's gonna put his head down and do the work. And not a lot of guys on here. Well, a lot of them will, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
We're down here.
39th overall pick going to the Carolina Panthers in need of a quarterback, defensive end, and defensive. No, wait. Did I just lose it?
Which one?
Panthers, right? And wide receiver.
Yep, wide receiver, edge, quarterback.
All right. For which position here?
Defensive end.
Defensive end for the Panthers goes to Ronan the Accuser. The Accuser himself.
Yep, so a lot of people weren't as set on Ronan the Accuser. They were concerned about a couple, him being a little bit more unpolished than some of the other players, but that, he's still got the strength, he's got the speed, and, he's in a really good position where at the Panthers, they have a lot of really good defensive talent there, and they are going to put him in, and they're not going to just shove him in and say, you're the number one starter now. You're going to be a guy that's going to learn under us, so we're very excited for him.
Okay.
He's last, Zach, if you're looking for him.
No. I was looking for who the Saints picked last round.
The Saints picked...
Oh, boy.
I got one more. Green Goblin. He's on the first page. He's in between Strange.
I knew he got picked, but that's the only player that I didn't have which team he went to. Okay, perfect.
All right, we are at the 40th overall pick, which goes to New Orleans Saints in need of a defensive line, tight end, and offensive line.
All right, here we go. We're shooting the dice on this pick.
Ooh, all right. Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, God.
Yes, you are. With the tight end for the Saints, Justin Hammer. Another interesting name that I saw on this list.
Yeah,
when reading it up today.
we like the tech. We don't like the man.
Yes, right.
He's gonna be a force.
Do you think everyone likes Thanos and the fucking 40 overall pick? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. For the 41st pick, going to the Tennessee Titans, need of an offensive line, wide receiver, and defensive back. Right? Did I say that right?
Safety, yep.
Safety, yep. And speaking of safety, the Titans take Okoye.
You know, Titans are another team. I keep saying it. They need a bunch of stuff. This is one of the people from... And again, now we've seen multiple people come from Alabama. We've seen Killmonger come from Alabama. We've seen... You know, we had 2 running backs coming from Alabama in Killmonger and Black Panther. Yeah. We've seen Shuri come off the board. We've seen Okoye come off the board now. The school just absolutely puts out talent. Just fantastic talent. They're a top-tier talented school. They're coming off a national championship. It's just amazing stuff. So, you know, another Alabama prospect coming off the board at that position. It's just we couldn't pass up on it.
Okay. For the 42nd overall pick coming from Cleveland, it goes to the New York Jets, who are in need of an offensive line, defensive tackle, and a safety. Zach on the board to choose for the Jets as their safety, Nebula.
Just another team player. Shows that they could, you know, play a role, and here we are giving them the role. You're gonna be the safety.
You can go again.
I can go again.
Yeah,
yes.
The Jets. It's back-to-back Jets.
Jets
picks.
are back-to-back.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jets
I'll just let you do it.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. Why does that make your math work so that you get the?
No, it doesn't. No, I'm gonna take the Giants regardless. It doesn't matter. But no.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's think. Who would the Jets? Who could the Jets use? Let's go with this nice pick. I think this is a good pick. That's nice for the Jets. Back to back.
That is nice for the Jets.
Really good. Yeah. Well, that's the problem why a lot of people are concerned because the Packers want to trade Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, and the Packers are asking for the 42nd and 43rd pick, which the Jets would be stupid to give away, in my opinion, because those are phenomenal assets to have back-to-back picks.
43rd pick for the New York Jets, we have as a linebacker, Vulture. Interesting choice there. Okay.
That was a good one. I was actually going to take.
No worry. Yeah. Wow, I took it off the board. Yeah.
Good.
44th overall pick going to the Atlanta Falcons. We have as the cornerback, Ironheart. All right, we have another player similar to others like Iron Man and War Machine.
Yep.
There.
Yeah, Ironheart, again, a younger player coming out a little bit early. A lot of people were concerned about the how ready she was going to be to play. But, you know, I mean, she's proven in just the year that she's started that she's fantastic, knows how to get to the ball, knows how to play the ball, and knows how to play the game, which is what we want here. We want smart people. We want people that can play the game, and they know how to get it done. So it was a no-brainer for us on getting that all done there.
Okay. 45th overall pick going to the Green Bay Packers in need of a safety, tight end, and wide receiver.
Grab the tight end in round 1.
Oh, yes.
But we need more people to throw to here, so here we are.
For the Packers, wide receiver, Ghost. Very good, very good. Okay. That was 45. Yes,
yep.
Okay.
And Frank, I think you know a pretty good amount about Ghost that you can kind of elaborate on why it might be a good wide receiver pick.
I would say Ghost sometimes just can't be seen.
You just can't see him. You're just getting there. So
she's
gonna be
one of the
play.
better. Yeah.
No, here's the thing. And this play has been in every single playbook that Ghost has been a part of on a team. They just throw. It's a no-look throw. They just toss it
and
to where
gone.
No one is even there.
And she's gone.
And then it's just boom. She's there.
It'll definitely get people off guard for sure.
Yeah.
And then have to end up chasing her basically. Yeah. I would also say she's pretty sneaky in the fact that she could almost go through people. No.
She
quite literal.
Have fun trying to tackle good.
Yeah, right.
What I'm not so sure, and I've watched some film and it has been a little bit of a problem, ball goes through sometimes.
Yes.
So that's an issue.
Yes, that is an issue.
We're going to work on that. We're going to have the trainers in there and full medical staff, and we're gonna figure that little issue out. But.
Gotcha. For the 46th overall pick, for the New England Patriots, they went before and they took I forgot what they took before. They were in need of a defensive back, offensive tackle.
Zeus at defensive tackle.
At offensive tackle, so
defensive
they also
tackle,
defensive tackle. Okay,
so they need defensive back help. They need offensive line help and wide receiver help.
Correct. So for cornerback for the New England Patriots, Maria Hill, Agent Maria Hill.
The Patriots are an organization that they are just super, keen on making sure they get smart players, talented players, athletic players, and people that are just, just no nonsense. They want to come and they want to be there every week. So they wanted Maria Hill. A lot of people think that was taken a little bit early, but they're very happy with the positional value there. So that's why they went that way.
All right. For the 47th pick, going to the Washington Commanders, they went before as well, but they were in need of either a cornerback, offensive line, or tight end.
Grab that cornerback and Miss Marvel. So
right.
One, so here we are.
Okay. For a tight end, going to the Commanders, She-Hulk. We got another Hulk on the board here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all the Hulks have been taken.
All Hulks are off the board.
All Hulks are off the board.
You got 3 teams with a Hulk type of creature, and 3 teams are going to be a real problem in this league. So.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time indeed. All right. 48th overall pick going to the Detroit Lions, another team that went before already. They are choosing which position here?
The tight end, sorry.
Tight end goes to Star-Lord.
Yep, so the Lions were also set on making sure they got a tight end. I think they were dancing between the 2 tight ends on the board, She-Hulk and Star-Lord. When She-Hulk went off, they were happy to get Star-Lord as a secondary option. Both they were very set on having, so they were happy to get either player. So they're very excited.
2 great picks.
Great picks.
Yeah.
All right. 49th overall pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In need of offensive line, cornerback, and defensive line.
We grabbed before.
Oh, yes, they
we
did.
grabbed,
they did go. Always really did, except for the Dolphins, I guess.
Steelers grabbed Odin, yeah.
Steelers got Odin, okay.
I held the pick, alright. Now we're getting down to the end of it. We're, let's see who's going to come off this board here. Now we got to actually worry about the shot clock because it's inner pickings here.
This is when things get interesting here.
Yeah,
for sure.
We're trying to get as much value we can out of these picks. So
right.
I mean, here we go.
49th overall pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Defensive tackle goes to Crossbones. Crossbones, a very menacing, very intimidating player on the field there, and quite strong too. In fact. You're
gonna need a really, really talented guy to line up against this guy if you don't want him to take down your quarterback. So that's where we're going here with the Steelers, and I mean that Steelers defense is going to be looking quite menacing. When you pair in Crossbones and Odin together, I mean, I don't even know what would happen. We're gonna find out week 1.
We are now at the 50th overall pick, which goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It looks like they'll be getting a quarterback in Falcon.
Yep.
Love that choice.
So the Buccaneers were, they weren't 100% set. They spent some money on Baker Mayfield in the offseason. So, they have some talent there. They have Baker. They have Kyle Trask. They have people they want to play at the position. But they were like, you know what? At this 50th pick, they have the availability. They liked the board, how it fell. And they thought at this kind of a position, this was a first-round talent. This was someone that could have gotten taken earlier if more teams needed quarterback, that they just continued to sit back. And when it fell into their lap, it was a no-brainer for them. So they had to go ahead and do that.
Definitely no-brainer. The guy has a sharp eye, that's for sure. For the 51st overall pick, going to the Miami Dolphins, This is their first time picking here in the draft,
So
actually.
they really need someone.
They really need
this
someone.
This is imperative that they get a good pick here.
Without a doubt. They were in need.
And there's a lot of talent left on this board here. A lot of
board.
talent that we could pick from.
They were in need of a offensive line, a running back, and a tight end. So, Zach, who you giving to the Miami Dolphins? Offensive tackle. Whew, all right. Happy Hogan.
Look, these guys are shot anyway. They've got 1 out of 60 picks. I mean, everyone that you could have possibly wanted. The big guys are gone. Now, let's get the guy with the phone and the suit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Mike McDaniels, he just called me once I was on the clock. He said, I'm going Happy Hogan. I said, okay, I'll go Happy Hogan. I don't know. I'm just the messenger here.
The 52nd overall pick going to the Seattle Seahawks. Forgot who they chose before, but they were in need of defensive line, a wide receiver, and an offensive line as well. Oh, we have a little switch here? Oh,
Nope, just a letter that I don't think you could have read.
Okay, so the Seahawks are getting a quarterback in Daredevil. Ooh, interesting choice.
So the Seahawks at this point have gotten some really great value at the spots they've picked at, and they were more just set on, they were like, you know what, we want to take a guy we can develop. They just re-signed Geno Smith. They want to put a guy behind him that can definitely learn from the system, and it might take a year or 2 or 3. A lot of guys think this guy can't throw and is blind at times, but I think he's got some of the best senses on the field. So you're talking about a player that can really make those decisive throws. Yeah, he does have those moments at times where it looks like he can't see what's going on in the field, but definitely is able to get it done when it comes to crunch time.
Without a doubt, looks could be deceiving sometimes.
That's
and
it.
be tricking the players there on the field. 53rd overall pick goes to the Chicago Bears. In need of defensive line, and cornerback. Defensive end for the Bears goes to Taskmaster. Taskmaster, a very interesting player that we've seen play before. He seems to just learn as he goes, and he does it quite effectively.
Yeah, and that's what we're going for in this type of pick. It is an investment here, and it's going to take some time, but this kid learns like crazy. So
Yeah.
we're going to be all right. I'm very happy with this pick, and hopefully the fans of the Chicago Bears are as well.
Very good. The 54th overall pick going to the Los Angeles Chargers. They were in need of a tight end, and for a tight end,
I'm going to go for the Lions. I'll go for the Lions because then you can go Jags, I'll go Giants.
Okay.
Yep.
For the tight end, the Chargers choose Valkyrie. Valkyrie, a player who could also be a bit temperamental from times, but when she plays,
Yeah.
and she is quite effective as well, I would say. All right. Oh, you're.
I'm going to go back to back. Yep, so Valkyrie just went for the
Chargers. Yes.
And now for the Lions, I'm going to go, and I made that pick.
Okay. For the 55th overall pick, the Detroit Lions. For quarterback, they are choosing Mysterio. Mysterio, I would say, is a very good choice for quarterback there. I would say that he could seem to be throwing one way, but just be throwing the total opposite and trick the players there on the field.
Yeah, you know, Mysterio for them, the Lions are another team that's in that spot. They can take a guy at this position. They can go ahead and make that kind of a call. They've got enough talent. They've got they already have a quarterback in their spot that Jared Goff is their guy for right now. Mm-hmm. But they're very excited to have someone like Mysterio who's going to give them constant competition the entire time in practice. And then, you know, when it comes time to play, and Mysterio can step up to the plate. So we're very excited to see what goes on there.
And I believe it would be a safe bet, as I guess you would consider him a backup, no? A backup?
He will be the backup, yeah. But, you know, he's going to give him a constant battle
position,
and eventually be taking over, in no time.
Gotcha. 56 overall pick, really heading into the end here. Going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. In need of a cornerback, offensive tackle, and defensive end.
We might have the steal of the draft here.
Oh, boy.
We'll see.
Oh, I like this choice. Jaguars for defensive end, Heimdall. The man who could basically see just about anything.
He knows what play they're doing.
Yeah.
He knows what the play after that's going to be. he basically doesn't even have to play the game.
He's a strategist.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Yeah.
You might as well put him on the coaching staff.
At this point, absolutely, yeah. 57th overall pick, the New York Giants. For cornerback, we have Lady Loki, otherwise known as Sylvie, as she would rather go by anyway.
You know, the Giants they're in a spot where they constantly
remember who that is.
Yes, there you go. So the Giants are in a spot where they need offensive line help more than anything, but, you know, at this point in the draft, it's just not there. You know, it's not as positionally... it's there. There's a little bit left, but there's not much, to the point where they were more interested in going ahead and getting a player like Sylvie. Cornerback, phenomenal talent, can really get things going and get the ball moving. So very excited to see what she can bring to the table for the Giants. And, they're happy with the talent they've brought in their draft. They only had 2 in the first 5, where teams like the Seahawks had 4, but Texans had 3 or 4. So they're excited to be done with their draft, and they're happy where they were at.
Okay, we have 6 picks left. We're at the 58th pick, going to the Dallas Cowboys. They need a defensive line, offensive line, and tight end. They did choose before. This will be their last pick of this draft.
Oh, this is a tough one here. This is a tough one. We don't really have the positions we really need here, so I think it's time to just go with the gut. And go with maybe a pick that the fan base won't love, but
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
It must be done. I mean, everyone needs a nice insurance policy, you know.
Oh, with that
You picked. I know who you picked.
issue chosen already.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Give me.
But you can do the same thing. You can do the same position.
I'm going to. Thank you for the call out. I did not have that.
Yeah, I picked it a little bit earlier.
Okay. We'll go with this.
Good job, Commissioner.
You're the commissioner. What have I done?
No, I said to Frank. He caught it.
We'll go with this one.
Okay, for which position here?
QB, same position.
QB. For quarterback, we have Nick Fury. Love this choice. A strategist. He knows what move to make when they are at a certain area of the field, I would say.
Not going to see a lot of interceptions out of this guy.
He doesn't make many mistakes. So when he does, though, he does beat himself up pretty bad. So
that rookie year might be tough. We're gonna have the full staff with him. He's gonna have it good. He's learning under Josh Allen here, so he's learning with the best, and I think it's gonna be a really good way for him to make his mark on the league here.
Okay, we are on the final 5 picks of this draft.
If you go 2 in a row, I go 2 in a row.
1.
So I get the birdies.
Okay, cool. Wait.
All right.
Or you want?
No, if I go, you go, I go, you go, you still get it. Because I'm at the Bills right now. So then you go Bengals, I go Bears.
Wait.
No, you did the Cowboys.
You did Cowboys.
Okay. I'm all messed up. That's fair. That's fine. That's good.
What'd you think? You picked for the Giants?
No, I thought I was picking for the Bills.
No, I skipped over Dallas.
I skipped over Dallas because I don't like Dallas.
So Dallas picked Nick Fury and Happy Hogan. Good. We love that. All right.
No, the Dolphins picked Happy Hogan.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who did Dallas? Oh, no, Dallas picked...
I gave him actually a good pick.
Vision.
Yeah, I gave him
Vision. Linebacker. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was a good pick.
I just skip over the Cowboys.
So you're doing Bengals now.
No. This is for the Bills.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. 59th overall pick going to the Buffalo Bills. Could I get a position here?
Red Guardian is defensive tackle.
Red Guardian for defensive tackle. Okay, very good. I believe that's a great, excellent choice. We got a big man right there. Powerful man. Super soldier. Great choice. Okay, we are in the final 4 picks now. Pick number 60, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. What will be their final pick of this draft?
Here it is.
For the Bengals, defensive tackle. Love this choice. Surprised he wasn't chosen a little bit earlier here in this draft.
I agree. I mean,
we have Ego, the Living Planet.
He's a
full planet.
He is a full-blown planet.
Try getting
Things are
around this
orbiting
guy.
around that man.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. For pick number 61, the Chicago Bears it goes to. What do we have in mind
Chicago
here, Luke?
Bears. What?
Oh. For the Chicago Bears' final pick for running back. Another name that I'm surprised wasn't chosen earlier. Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Yeah, you know, the Bears didn't necessarily need a running back at this spot, but again, 61, an amazing talent, first-round talent, someone that just fell down the draft boards to the point that they couldn't pass up on it. So, you know, they were just very convinced that this was the right pick here, so they're very happy to have him on the team.
All right, we have 2 picks left here, one each. Who will be your final
No,
player?
but
didn't you already pick?
for the Birds,
Wait,
I didn't get a running back yet, did I?
Captain Marvel.
Oh damn it!
I mean, you could.
I could. I mean, the Birds love to have like 4 or 5 different running backs at a time.
Why don't you pick?
What's no. Don't try and get in my ear about this. I'm the Birdies. I got it. Damn, what do the Birds even need? Like, we could just forego this.
You know what you could. You know what you could do.
What's that?
You could do what I put an etch next to.
Yeah, I do like that pick.
Yeah,
I
hate that pick, but you will love that pick.
We are now working together here at the end of the draft. Here we go.
I was between this and another fun player.
For the 62nd pick, going to the Philadelphia Eagles offensive tackle, Wong. Another, to be honest with you, he's actually the Sorcerer Supreme at the current moment, so I believe that's a very excellent pick there.
Yeah, I think, and two, with, another big thing with Wong, I mean, he's ranked lower on the offensive lineman scale, but, you're talking about a team that already has tons of offensive line help.
Yeah.
So you're just getting a guy that can sit behind some of these guys, get casual starts in the position, and then as it comes time, you get injuries, you get positional help, you need a guy to move in, you slot him in, and then in 2 years, 3 years, he's your starter, he's your main guy. So.
I mean, you look at even any edge rusher on this list, I think Juan could take care of him, They're over there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Okay. Our final pick of the Marvel NFL Draft 2023, pick number 63, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do we have in mind? What is...
Groot.
No, P-E?
D-E.
Oh, that's a D-E. Jesus, Luke.
Dude, I know. He sent me this. He sent me this whole list of just chicken scratch.
Thank God I didn't draft. Thank God it wasn't an actual draft. They'd be like, defensive tackle from Alabama State.
So, defensive end for the Chiefs. The final one, my voice just cracked, goes to Groot. I am Groot.
I was between Groot and
Groot
Wong.
was a no-brainer for the Chiefs. Again, they're just adding, at this point, they're just adding tons of depth to their team, their roster. And they were happy to have him. But some of the people that did not go in the 2 rounds, we're talking about Kate Bishop at safety. So these are people that they draft rounds 3 through 7. These talents are still first and second round talents, but teams are going to be able to scoop.
Yeah.
Kate Bishop at safety. Namor at running back. A lot of people saw him for his size dropping a little bit.
Yeah.
Yellow Jacket at linebacker.
Okay.
Echo at safety. Helmet Zemo at quarterback. Jane Foster at cornerback.
Baron Zemo? Yeah, that's Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo.
Yep.
Peggy Carter at running back, Pepper Potts at tight end, and U.S. Agent at linebacker. But the most surprising of the draft that's still on the board is Winter Soldier at running back.
Yeah.
A lot of people loved him going into the draft, and a lot of teams thought they'd pick him real early, and now we're seeing going into the round 3 that he's still available on the board. So someone's going to be able to get this guy real early in round 3 and be real happy with the production he's going to give.
I'm surprised we still had 2 super soldiers on the board.
It's surprising, but
Yeah.
it was awesome to see that we saw a lot of really good talent go in these rounds.
This was
Absolutely.
a prolific draft class. I don't think I've seen a draft class like this.
With superheroes like this, never.
Never. I would like to get our final overall thoughts from both of you. How do you believe you did choosing these players for these teams here? Do you believe they'll be satisfied?
Yeah.
And do we believe they're going to have an excellent year with these players on board.
I think it was a great draft. I think teams like the Texans, teams like the Lions, teams like the Seahawks really performed. People that had a lot of picks definitely capitalized on them. They got a lot of talent. And then you see with some of those teams that didn't have as many picks, like the Dolphins, not that they rushed to do it, but they almost felt like they had to take a certain player and maybe they didn't get the guy they wanted. You know, a lot of people are concerned about how the Patriots also went. Patriots went 2 very safe picks, but they might not have went out of the box enough to make the right moves. That these people are going to be transcendent players that, you know, they're going to be the next big thing when it comes to the NFL.
They say about Tom Brady, though.
Said the same thing, and look at where he is now.
Exactly.
So,
Zach, question for you. Did you find it more difficult as the draft went along to choose your players for certain teams there?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I'm going up against a very skilled drafter. So in a way, I think that Luke was knowing, you know, the next 2-3 picks and picking accordingly, whereas I was kind of under the gun and had to scramble to get some of these picks. So. I mean, I think there was a mishandling for Miami. Someone handed me a pick.
I think they said they were happy to pick, not that they wanted to take happy. We're so happy, and then you know they didn't get the message clearly.
Miscommunication.
A lot of people thought the Dolphins were going to take Winter Soldier at that spot, so there's a lot of controversy going on there. What might have
would have been
happened.
a very needed pick
But
for them.
we'll see if they can end up skilling it in the 3rd round.
I'm going to be getting a lot of calls from the Miami front office on that one.
We'll see how Happy plays this year, man. I mean, who
I'm not
knows?
counting
Maybe
him
they'll
out.
be happy about
Be
it.
happy about this.
Where he might be.
Hogan.
Sad.
All right, very well. What are your guys' thoughts on these draft picks here? All of them we're going to be done talking, but we'll have all of them listed off for you guys to review and check out. So let us know what you guys thought about those in the comments below. I enjoyed this episode. I like being the announcer for these things. It was actually a lot of fun. Luke, thank you for coming up with this idea. I think this has to be a yearly thing when the actual draft comes around every year. Maybe next year we do it with some of the DC heroes and villains.
I love that. I was thinking Star Wars, but we'll have conversation.
Yes, we'll have conversations about it for sure. I wouldn't mind Star Wars either.
I think either of them would be really cool.
Yeah,
Game of Thrones, Star Wars depends on.
Don't get me started with Game of Thrones.
We have tons. We have tons to do. So
we're not going to
hopefully-
have an hour episode.
Yeah, we're
at that
hoping that
point.
we can try to. Yeah, we're hoping we can try to continue to do this, and I'd love to have this as a reoccurring draft episode.
100%.
absolutely. Zach, thank you for joining for the second time
Thanks,
being
bud.
on the pod.
Thank you.
And yeah, for you guys, thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Also, follow us on all social media platforms at Frank_videos. If you want to listen to this episode, audio-only version, it would be kind of weird to do it for this episode, but if you still wanted to, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Yep.
And yeah, that'll do it for us.
Yep.
So with that said, have a wonderful night, and peace out. Let's pour number 3. All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't fuck with the smell.
It's stronger.
It is stronger.
It's stronger, but the taste is also very stronger, and it's an
don't know, this-
extremely strong fruit, grapefruit type of thing.
I don't know. This smell's not like distinct to me. Maybe it's just me.
You know, we're not wine connoisseurs.
Yeah.
It's up to each, you know.
No, Grandma, listen, we're podcast one connoisseurs. But no, that smell is god awful. I gotta give it a low rating just because of that. So I'm gonna have to go with a.
What?
I'm gonna give it a 4.3.
What was that?
That was me thinking of what the decimal point was gonna be. All right.
You like those decimal points, eh?
I know.
They have to be sophisticated scores because we're drinking sophisticated drinks here.